comes, chase him away. The topic was very simple. I needed his diversion. He's not at the same level with the president. No. He's at the same level with the Bebe who's the chameleons. He's a musician. He will never stop being a musician. That's why now all the people in the opposition are suffering. They are suffering because they refuse to accept the truth that they are dealing with an artist. They are not dealing with a politician. They are not dealing with a presidential material. No, they were dealing with an artist who is directly competing with his fellow artists. That's why some of the fans, his musical fans, come up and say, Bebe Cool Chagulanyi, Yamuleka da. So it is a musical thing, Yamuleka. These are the same people who cannot ask this guy to reason politically or economically. But to them it is about Chagulanyi Yaleka, BOBIWINE Yaleka Bebe Cool, BOBIWINE Yaleka chameleon. So, in a nutshell, ne Bobi nga jali ayagala kumakinga sure nti akakasa nti abonna baleka nenga ate kabaka yamukola mulina bwenti because nze nali sina budde bwa kintu neki nali nina obudde bwa plani yange nga bwenjikola mujjeko abamawulire mujjeko abageto ate nga mumanyi mukodo. So at the end of the day alitasobola kusobola plani yange. But era God works in mysterious ways. Mu NRM twalina mu abantu abali bakola naye. We had so many people who are working with Chagulanyi. How are they working with Chagulanyi? They were working with Chagulanyi because the more Chagulanyi put on pressure on the president, the more the president released the budget. We even had people in the police force doing very bad things intentionally. We had members of the parliament from the opposition, or we had MP candidates paying police people to arrest them, to mishandle them as women, to tear. Don't you remember that time when they were tearing women's bras? What? You look at a policeman, you say, why is this policeman really mishandling a woman? Kumbe these MPs were paying a backdoor. These guys were getting 2-5 million. Remember, their salary is less. So when you're given 5-10 million to kuzoganya, it appears legit that the police is mishandling Ugandans. All these things were planned. As NRM people, I tell you, I knew several people who were working with this guy, but they were way too stronger that if I attacked them directly, I would be down by today. So I said, no, I will devise my best way to work with the president. And I know the president at that time could not understand me very well, even himself, because I did not explain to him this thing, because I explained it to only Honorable Namayanja. That's why at the end of that campaign, there was a meeting at State House with all musicians and the SEC members. And in that meeting, I raised my hand. Full Figure was there. All the artists were there. Kusasira who. I raised my hand to talk, but the president wasn't picking me. Remember, that was at the end of the campaign after the president had been announced as scenes. The president kept on choosing anyone else, Full Figure, but he wasn't picking me. Until when the president said, Bebe could take our son kono. What was disturbing me? Kumbe the president had been told that my idea was just to give out t-shirts and kneeling. It wasn't a mobilization tool. So I wanted to ashame 3 people who had told the president that my idea wasn't a mobilization tool. That is the day I was supposed to explain to the president for the first time what the giving out t-shirts and kneeling meant. Kati president we ansirisa. Nempulira mu meeting inga balimba president. So many things happened there. I got angry, and ladies and gentlemen, for the first time I'm going to tell you, I got up out of the president's meeting and I left State House. I will never forget. I knew that Nabie Nkoze Chintu kubanga ezo mpisa mbi naye obusungu bwali bunzita nga sobola kugenda mu maaso nga ntudde n'abantu nga balimba president nga ndaba bwenti nensituka nenzijjawo entebe nenfuluma nengenda. And remember, oyita mu mulyango gumu toyinza kuyita eno president gyatudde era yandaba bwati nga nsituse kubanga yasooka kuŋŋamba bweteka wansi omukono ng'ogenda kumanya ogenda kwogera ebintu bingi. Nenfuluma nali ntuuka ku Saya Queen, as I was arriving Saya Queen, ne bankubira essimu ne bambuuza oluwa ne mbagamba ndi Kampala, bagamba badde bakweta ne mugamba it's okay. Era president yaddamu nankubira essimu after 1 month, but okunkubira essimu after that 1 month I had spoken to General MK and I explained myself very well to General MK. The use of my mobilization tool, that is what they call mobilization. Mobilization, when you see us as musicians singing, singing is not mobilization. I will come to that point. Singing is entertaining. It's also, it has a small element of mobilization because your fans will then trust the platform and the reasoning that you're there. Yes, but there's actual mobilization to actualize a vote. So, that was the plan that was 2026, I think, the one of, no, 2021. Yes, that was 2021. Okay? So, how did it fall down? They went and convinced the president because we were stopped 3.5 weeks in. So, a team of people at the secretariat went and convinced the president that, remember at that time there were 2 things that were happening. Also, let me tell you this. Kyagulanyi was doing, there were COVID guidelines at that time. The guidelines did not allow masses. So the Electoral Commission came up with saying that you can only gather 200 people. So Kyagulanyi, I knew that he wasn't going to use 200 people. He knew that the president is scared of COVID because the president was always covered and he wasn't getting close to people. He was at a distance. So I knew that this picture is going to be, if Kyagulanyi goes on the roads with these masses of people, and then the president stays in a tent with 200 people, the picture is automatically going to be misinterpreted as Museveni not having supporters. It was a very dangerous moment. Because imagine 3 months when Museveni is in tents of 200 people and Kyagulanyi every day has masses of people walking on the road. That would have convinced the international community. That would have psychologically twisted the mindset of every Ugandan that actually it is true Ugandans no longer support President Museveni. I saw it and I said I'm not allowing this. That's why the first group of people that I had were the ghetto kids, those ghetto gangsters. And then plus adding on the media, because I also said I have to take away the media so that it's not covered fully. Now I'm saying things because there's no need to they are no longer secrets. It's just to show you how we think out these things. Because most of you don't have an idea. You don't know that we sit down and plan. And we plan. Okay, you think we just move. So, I said, okay, now, buli wentuuka ku kyalo ng'oledde nina abaana ba ghetto basi nga 30. Okay? Kigenda kuwa abantu confidence nga tebambadde yellow. Ne tuyingira mu maduuka nga tugaba t-shirt za yellow, ne tuyingira in their homes nga tugaba t-shirt za yellow. They will feel safe, so they will come up. Remember, there was a game of intimidation. So that thing was taking away intimidation from cities. And people were now openly coming back to put on the yellow. So, my plan worked very well. Because every time you saw Kyagulanyi with his big trail of people, you saw Bebe Cool with so many people on the streets. But President Museveni was in the serious meetings of the 200s. You get the game? So that's how it happens. Now, how did it go down? It went down when 3 people went and convinced the president in a meeting in Soroti that Bebe Kuru atulated the electoral commission egamba tusiga COVID. And the president, you know, President Museveni, when it comes to COVID, even up to now, to have a meeting with President Museveni, we are still going for COVID checkups. Up to today, President Museveni did not even think twice. He called off the movement. I made calls that day. I nearly ran mad. I said, how can I convince this? I went, I talked to Namayanja. Namayanja fought in the meeting. Honorable Namayanja fought in that meeting to tell people that there's a better good in this idea than just what you're seeing here. Naye kumbe, what my format was doing, it was going to stop the big budgets that the president was going to release. Because by countering Kyagulanyi, then there is no pressure from the president or for the president. And without pressure on President Museveni, he never releases money. So nali msenteza abantu nga mwenzanyira. Naye ate at the end of the day, nga nebuuza ngamba neba n'abantu. Esente neggwanga lyaffe okwononeka, because remember at the end of the day, we had a problem of mindset. Nga abantu bali mu kugenda convinced ddala nti no President Museveni talina buwagizi nti Uganda mbi, nti Uganda bleedinga. Ekintu tekitandika okuyingira. Era nze abawagizi banupu abasinga sibanenya. Because babasigamu ekintu ekyo nti Uganda bleedinga. Naye mwe bamutulula mu COVID bantu bameka abaafa enjala. Ensi z'abazungu zonna ze mulaba abantu baafanga enjala ng'oli talina wajja kawunga naye nga ffe wano ofuluma ku muti n'ojjayo omuyembe. Naye bakonvinsinga president nga nkirabira ddala. Bwe nva mu pule ne nzaayo abageto ne baddayo ku kkubo, abaana ati bo tebasobola kubeerera waawo. Bo balina okugenda okuzoganya okukola. Abasanga nze wano mbadde mbawa emitwalo 5 naye kati we baddayo ku kkubo. It took only 2 days. Mwalaba amasasi mu Kampala, mwalaba entalo ku kkubo, iganga yonna amayinja front. That is the day, that is the week gye mwalabanga abasirikale ne bakuba abantu amasasi emange wa Kiseka yonna ng'olwo abaana bakomyewo babalemese. Abaana bannegeya banange, abaana ba ghetto baakaaba amaziga. Do you know abaana banyumizanga ebintu buli night nga tumiitinga nga tumaze okulya biki, abaana banyumiza bagamba manyi bwe tubba akasimu au katwale wa mukulu akasimu ka million 3 naye ng'omukulu akuwayo emitwalo 2 naye sebo kati omunene otufunidde emitwalo 5 buli lunaku. Okitegeera bananga abaana baakaaba. I've never seen what I saw. Nenfuba nenjogera Namayanja mukazi otunagamba Bebe sina kyakola. It has failed. Okitegeera nentika abaana nentika zibasi zonna abaana ne bakomawo e Kampala. Abaana olwakomawo e Kampala bwe bati ne baddayo ku kkubo ne busimu ne buvuga okuva ewa abantu nga bameeya Kyagulanyi abakozi baabwe ne bakomawo ku kkubo. 3 days later masasi mayinja buli kimu. That is why twatuka so that internet yenu singa nali proceedings it means by the end of the media, by the end of the rallies that campaign, media never decided internet. Wali badde tewetaga kubanga basojja bonna nali mbalina. Single kunyumirwa is I always wanted to stay in the dress code of a musician who wants to just sing and jump on stage. That's what my enemies wanted. Always convince themselves that I think small. So what I did, I left them to think small. program eyo bankola bubi. Time to execute the same program but a bit different. Era kino kye mwalabye ekyabayimbi ne bannamawulire just kwabadde kubulako ba ghetto. Now, towards the beginning of this campaign, I went to Mr. Damulira's, Afande Damulira's office. Nemugamba Afande Damulira, program yango jijukira yalina abana ba ghetto. Tuino bajja mu city. Mwami Damulira kuluno nangamba nti Bebe, this time you don't need to take them because we have built good structures in them, okay? And they are ready to work within their areas. Nemugamba, oh yeah, that is right. Why? Because before tewali omuntu yabazima.
Let me see some lighters. Let me see some lighters over there for the deep.
Yeah, that's why this time.
Oh yeah, let's light up Sheraton. Let's light it up, light it up, light it up. Easy now.
So bufight buno bwaliwo wano mu beginning isimanyi abayimbi bajja ku those were very issues.
Let me see some lighters. Let me see some lighters over there for the diva. Let me see some lighters over there.
So,
let me see you for the diva. More lighters, more lighters, more lighters. I need a bit more for the lighters. Thank you for more lighters. Now, Sheraton.
The best way this time
make some noise for Juliana. Yeah, give me a blackout. Total blackout, Mr. Liceman.
I think it didn't pass.
Give me a blackout.
I pleaded with
Ooh, yeah, let's light up Sheraton.
my budget.
Let's light it up, light it up, light it up. Easy now.
But to achieve 71% success, we need a budget. And we need to make sure that that budget is used where it is supposed to be. Waliwo okugamba ogamba nti budget yino tujikuwadde naye okozese sente kyesirina okukola. That's why we got 71%. Because all of you have everyone and everyone amanyi my contribution to this campaign this time. Everyone knows what I did. Tetwebaka kutulo. Kakati, how did it go down? This time, namanya anti we na relying already proposal yange bajiganye. Na before taking the proposal, I came up with two plans. Nengamba nino kunonya sent, nino kunonya omuntu gwensobola okukola naye for at least 2 weeks. Paka president wanalaba effect ya idea yange nampita. Kwanga jukira baku blocking. Nange mwenyini bam blocking to see him. That's why twatuka ku beginning ya campaign nga sinamulaba. Ngabira nga manjakula. Nenga mugamba ni nechocha. Nenga njakula bafuse njakula. Nenga abasajja omukulu bamugamba ekiwo ky'omukulu aganye okundaba. Kati awo. That's when a friend of mine bwetwatula netwogera nangamba nina program bagita unstoppable. Nemugamba eri etya wait nti okay, let's arm it. Netuji arminga nenjiteeka wano wabbali na preparing ebintu byonna nkofira bi helmets biki nenjitereka wabbali nensirika nenzinga emikono nendeka ekintu ekyaliwo in the north ekyabayimbi mwe muli kubayimbi muli kuki nga naye during that period of time nali nina omuntu omu ku secretariat yali ampuliriza. Era my fellow Ugandans, I want us to say thank you to this lady. I want us to say thank you to Barbara Nekesa, the National Treasurer. President Museveni kano mukasale mu mukamuwe. The 71% is a contribution for so many people, but the most important people in this contribution are three. God, the president's work, for the previous 5 years, ngokola PDM, but the third person is Barbara Nekesa. Sichirumamu. The third person is Barbara Nekesa. The National Treasurer made sure that she spoke with everyone who came with any, as however small an idea was, at the Secretariat. When my idea, when my proposal was not accepted by the Secretary General, I went, because it had musicians and the media. I went to the office of the National Treasurer, Barbara Nekesa, and I explained myself word to word as you hear now. Word to word, one word to one word. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, while the campaigns had begun. Twasokera Luwero, they stopped me from Luwero with my media people. Never yimbi, nebatuyimiriza. Kati ennaku nnya ezasooka zokka abaana bange ze bamisinga bamawulire 4 days only. But those 4 days nakeranga ku makya nengenda nentula ne Barbara Nekesa, and I explained to her the importance of the top social media people that I had put up. Barbara Nekesa ne munyonya paka Barbara yangamba Bebe. Of course, Secretariat nze ndi National Treasurer ndi muwanika kino nekiri nene nokufuna approvals okuvewani SG oba kale Secretariat ngekiriza. Naye teyakiriza proposal, naye kaneyiye nga Barbara Nekesa ndabe engeri gye nkusupportinga muno obusente obutini taba namawulire ne mugamba nyamba at least abayimbi kambire kefe tubere waka naye bannamawulire bagende bakolere presidenti, because I knew the plan was going to fall down again. Barbara Nekesa nabeera nga mpaayo obusente butono nga buliwo kulya nga bannamawulire bange nga balina okweyiya engata gye begatta okugenda okusula nenjiya walala wenzija amafuta. But I knew that give Bebe Cool 2 weeks in an idea like that, everything will turn around. So Barbara Nekesa kept on supporting me, supporting the media people. Nganze siriyo, I could have gone to sing, because no one was stopping me to sing. Actually, Secretary General ngamba, you Bebe Cool, you can come. No. Nze specifically bangana, because I was told that the artists from the north say I refused them to sing in Buganda here, so I should not go there. Then I'm okay. So the good thing with campaigns is every region has a person who leads it. So Barbara nali mukoyeseza buli lunaku nga mga Barbara yogera n'omusajja mutaba yimbi bagende bakolere president. Abayimbi bano bamaze emyaka 5 basupporting NRM bavuma abana bano mubaleke bagende bakolere akasente. Raleza Buganda ntononye bya regional bifu. Ba regional artists bakole naye bana bayimbi bo bakole whole country kubanga bo amanya agagwa manene. Amanya abantu ge baachawa manene. Bali Yesu basobola okukola mu bulijjo bakolera tewali abaganye kola. Naye amanya gabaragaddi manene. Aina kola rale bisatu okufuna muko ku kasente akakompensate nga losi ye yabafani. That was my argument. Toyinza kuddira upcoming n'omuteka kuragaddi ku kamiliyoni ku buchayi bwe bayiseemu wano olwa politi olw'okusupportinga NRM. Noli okubagamba nti bo bajje bayimbe wano. No, you can't do that. On top of that, you're seeing other artists performing the whole place. Abaka jamu NRM naye bakaliba batudde awaka bo akakokola kanywedde. Baganda bange bampita Bebe Cool, ino okunkuba nno n'onzikiriza ddala kubanga nze neemulula. Nali I couldn't have just. So about Barbara Nekesa, I must tell the president the main reason lwaki campaign eno yali very successful. Omukyalo oyo ya making sure nti esente zirina okugenda mu bintu bye zalina okugenda ne zituuka ku muntu wa wansi. The day I was in a meeting, I used to enter by force nenyingira office ye kwa nali mbikoye. You know, secretariat eyo oyinza okuyimira mu corridors ezo nobeera ng'emmese. But when I'm working for President Museveni, I undress the stardom status. So I used to stand in the corridors. Paka when I took an enko no, nengamba kankomewe nkofira ya artist. Nenyingira by force. So nengira come meeting yemu. Nempuliranga they're activating the 30 or 60 people per village. Nensanyuka nnyo. Naye ngenda bawulira lwaki Museveni yakubye 71%. It's because structures za NRM Museveni yali yazimba yali yazivaako. Ng'omuntu omutuufu anoonya akalulu wa wansi nga bamuvaako. Era bwe nawulira nga Barbara alwana okuza structures ezo n'okukozesa abantu abo, I became so proud and happy, and I knew that we were going to get the 70 to 80%. Ate nga nange nali nkutte flag esinga obukulu eya media. So Barbara natutwaliriza mpola kakati Barbara yangamba nti Barbara yali in charge side ya east, where she's from the east. Of course we have mu north twadda mu east. Kati fabayimbi we did not perform in the north. So performances za normalizing mu east. Bwe normalizing mu east, that's when I'll 4 days before okugenda mu east nali planninga bulungi nti 4 days ezo nze ne mukwano gwange owa unstoppable program yaffe twagiteeka in such a way nti twali tulauncinga at that time nga twagala tutandike unstoppable tugende tusinkane mu east ng'etandika. Kati nga nkimanyi bulungi nti ngenda kukosa unstoppable okukomyawo abayimbi mulaali, because tewali muntu yenna yali asobola kunstopinga, because it wasn't a program for the secretariat. It was individually owned by a friend of mine and championed by me. And the budget, the money was there in my hands like this. So no one was going to stop me. Because I knew how they stopped me last time. They stopped me because they had the money in their hands. So I devised a way to get money and put it in my hands. And I knew that I will achieve the president's attention in less than a week with that program. So I only needed funds for 1 week. We took off Unstoppable at about 10 in the morning from Lugogo to Kira Road to Kamocha to Mulago to Wandegea, and of course straight Kampala Road, Jinja Road, all the way paka Mukono, paka Jinja, Twasula Jinja on that day. But the media platforms zona in 1 day zafuka Unstoppable. Zone ne campaigns the president ne was covering, and that was intention. But the next morning there was a call from the president's train. Ila we twave Jinja twagenda straight Soroti. The third day I was in a meeting with that friend of mine, the president. And that is the day the president got to know that his boys and girls are not on the trail. Tebayimba, tebaliyo ba generals be. Tebaliyo nambuza nemuga mzee chichogeza kokola. Are you trying to confirm to the people the rumors that NRM uses people and dumps them? These are my words and I'm saying them open. Nemugamba mzee, those are the words. Nti one sudde. No funo mwana omuto omulala feo tusudde Nze nangamba Moses, what are you talking about? Nemugamba mzee, we are not on your campaigns. That's why I had to use this friend of mine to pull your attention. Nangamba chichi, nemugulira ebintu nangamba stopping anamukola nangamba okay. You come back tomorrow. So the next day I went back for the same meeting. You remember the first day there was a picture. The second day there was a picture. In the first day nemugamba naye ngenda kujja ne general babiri. That day ngenda ne kusasira ne Jose Chameleone. Now that was a day I was supposed to have gone also with Alien Skin. Remember when Unstoppable nali ntadeko Alien Skin ngamusasude 40 million. Naye nganze mutwe nali nchimanyi because Alien yalita nalwa ku president. Nganze mmanyi nti olufuna attention ya president tugendayo na noyo mwana na yafuneyo kubanga Alien yakola nnyo for the NRM. I remember a Kololo Alien Skin yayogera clearly and openly nti kati nze ndi officially wa NRM. Naye already yali amaze oku contributing a very much mu downfall ya abana okuva mu ghetto kuda kusaidia NRM. He had done a good job. So nga njagala agendeyo ate nga nze mmanyi dirwe basasula. Naye ye ne balaba nti tekijja bakolera balina reasons zaabwe neziteke bali. That's why mwalabanga ku Unstoppable situsenze. Actually Gravity yali tagenda kwa Unstoppable kwa Gravity when nali nsimbudde agende mu rallies kuba that week rallies zali zigenda kutandika. Gravity nemugamba Gravity komao ne cafe kusasira mujje tumire ku pick up fe tugabe nkofira ne helmets. That's how we went. Kati on that night the first meeting mzee when ali munyonyole ekintu ekyo he told me Bebe okay I'm tired, you come back tomorrow. Nemugamba I'm coming with Kathy, I'm coming with Chameleone. So we went that day waliwo omuntu omukulu nangamba nti tugatireko nono omuvubuka munamasaka abadde anoonya muzeeyi so ne munamasaka ne tumuteekako. So we went in 4 artists. Kati that's the day when I explained to the president exactly what the picture looks like. Namugamba muzeeyi abantu balina picture erowozesa mu NRM is a user. But remember Museveni adiringa n'ebintu bingi ate biri ku high level tayinza kubeera ku buno obwaffe obutono ffe tulina obwesolvingira nakyavambuuza Chameleone namugamba muzeeyi bwekiri muzeeyi ffe mazima ne tulabika Kathy namugamba Chameleone sooka osirike muzeeyi leka Bebe akunnyonnyola Moses ne munyole mugamba muzeeyi narrative etambula eri nti twakubiddwa ekikono naddala nze nambuuza ekikono kitegeeza ki. It means sidelining, that you have used us, you have dumped up the Museveni yanyiganze sirabanga ko kino era mwengenda bagamba ekintu kimu abalaba Chameleone nga asitudde ekisawo ky'essente mwete mumanyi kye mwali mulaba ssente ekyo kyali kyejo kubanga ebigambo Chameleone muzeeyi byayogera nenda bibaddiramu. Muzeeyi yagamba how can my generals be mistreated like that? That was the question. Teyaddamu kirala yayita simu nangamba ekintu eki nga bawulira ngamba okay what do you want me to do now? Nemugamba muzeeyi manyi budget nateka budget tezayitayo mu secretariat naye kyembadde njagala mbadde njagala kuideeta bayimbi bo bonna bakomewo bajje bakusupporting abaana bano wanooka we bakola capital okay bakole ku busente ate ne industry erabikenge supporting NRM. Nangamba done, what do you need? Nemuwaka budget. Nemugamba give me a facilitation that I can facilitate, like I use to facilitate the artists and the media. Nakuba esimu zali saa mukaaga nagamba controller Bebajja ne Kamili ne Kafu. So that's why you saw ebintu byonna byakyuka omundi gumu that day. Era bayimbi bonna nze benakozesa nabayita ku Sky Hotel bonna. That's why n'abantu nga Buchaman samuyita kubanga Buchaman talina mugaso ku gundi ku stage ku rally talina. Naye ate there was a time where ina contribution era desperate ye eva wonti yaluzinga nnyo bafaani. Kati bomuleke bali ng'otute just abayina hiti obera hypocrite, obera as bad as bano benalinwanyisa. So that's why buli muntu kabe fina mugerwa. Era abantu batula ne bagamba fina akola ki ku stage. Ne fina ya sacrifice nga kakari yake yako nga bwe kaali. Nayingira obuchayi mu Buganda nga bwe mumanyi obuchayi bwe bwali wano. Kakati ate mutandise okufuna yo kate mubeerabira. That is not Bebe cool. Era president bwe yawulira ebigambo ebyo. Actually bwe yava ku simu awo nangamba n'okungamba nti now come back after tomorrow but 1. Eyo yali meeting ya kusatu. Same week. Jukira bala bamunoonyeza myaka na myaka. Same week. Now I'm showing you that ebintu ebisinga bi happeninga nenga president taswa kumanya. Kakati naffe ngaffe bebi happeninga ku oyina okulwana nnyo okulaba nti olabise ebintu ebyo mu ngeri emu oba endala so that he gets to know. Yes, the president, Uganda has the best intelligence, but ne intelligence oluusi baji blindinga mu nsonga z'obukokola. Kati gwe nakwerwanako ng'omuntu. Kubanga if I had not fought this time to make sure that the media n'abayimbi bakola, now that General Afande Damlira had handled the ghetto, okay? Ira nalibuddawo ne netulako abenale munga users kituufu namwe abawagizi opposition maliga twakugamba nenga tamazima matuufu ne president yali tamanyi kigenda maaso. So president we yagamba yabuza nagamba naye kamiliyoni. Actually mu conversation yaffe that day nga tulibana that meeting eyokubiri yabuuza nagamba but you chameleon you wona unasobola nga mubuza nga muzadde bangamba oli mzee chameleon yebaza mzee webale nnyo okunsasula eddwaliro natereera kino kiri naye muzee kino naye Bebe kabyogere with respect ate bonna nga barifaringa Bebe with respect maso ga mzee. Of course mzee gives me the respect. He knows my age and my experience and he knows I'm the one who has been fighting to bring all these people no matter who to him in a good way. This is not nyakumpa about anything, no, but we all should try and see this vision together. Kakati mzee bwavamu ekigambo ekyo kigamba nti how can my generals be disrespected? Let me tell you what happened that day. Ndaba Joseph nastuka mwawo asoka mzee ana ina fencing na fesanyu na lena fencing. Chameleon for the first time asumuruka masuka president nafuka ize simu kuogera nekati nafuka ize nafukanga Bebe yamaliza president agamba nti no one should ever try to fail you my generals. I felt proud. And this message goes to the president. Those words were good enough to show me that you have appreciated the sacrifice. Because sacrifice every day I'm making 50 years soon. All I know is NRM. Fight young. Obulamba wewade mukulwanira NRM. Tolina chidala chongamba. Ate sidwana bulwanyi mbu na positioning financially. No. It's because I believed in a vision that the president preached. And I'm seeing things happening. I'm seeing things happening. Naye ngambadde ku target age naye onako lwe nalaba kamiliyoni nga nasanyu nagira ne mayandi ya omulenzi kati naye afunye final confidence. Kubanga oluusi tukola nga tomalina kumanya nti omuntu gwokolera asiima. Era President Museveni alabye nnyo musajja mulungi musajja asiima nnyo naye kizibu abantu okumanya nti asiima ate tayinza gamba buli muntu nti webale nnyo nkwagala nnyo no. Naye it was very important because na Joseph yali yeetaga confidence eyo nganze gye nnina because me I had the confidence before. I know him. We speak one on one all the time. He's like my father era ye tata wange wokubiri. Don't be surprised if mwala banga akyala mu ddwaliro nga ndwadde. Nze confidence njina naye I was proud and happy to sing achogera maso ga Catherine kusasira. Of course Catherine amtwalira ddala nga muwala we ekyeje amukole ekyeje ekizibu. Catherine kusasira mzee amukole ekyeje. Ate kimukoze ekyeje one time twali mu campaign ya tubonga nawe mama najja ne mzee twali mu west eyo nga tunate okuva mu west tutandike Buganda kati omanyi campaigns zino zi happening in a way. There's one person who does not stop once the campaigns begin, from beginning to the end. That is the president. The rest of the people bachuka. Mpozi ne secretary jena yenzo kumula muko. Naya omuntu omata omula buli lunaku yabeera nanyini program ye president. Mama Janet ng'agira n'awumulamu abasirikale babakyusa convoy emmotoka zikyuka bannamawulire bakyukakyukamu oluusi oli alwaddemu n'awumula bunne najja da abayimbi oluusi akooye n'atajja lwafunye accident n'atajja ye president yekkawa yetawumula okuva campaign wetandika paka lweggwa nakomawo nasanga nekusasi was that time to put our campaign without 5 rallies instead we were doing 2 we were doing 5. I was singing and singing laughing and the one was MCing and dancing and making fun entertaining yanyenye mtu watu wele na ukaita kukusikia nanyenye mtu watu bonga ikele kwa timba wanika kati mama na tunafanya kuzifuna nganeno wafunga ya nichazibula sopoa kaja kukone na kufamu I just steady I am so ready nakaumuna ready and steady. That is the day simply answered is I was not going to allow musicians who have sacrificed to be minimized to that level, and to also justify Bebe Kuru have any plans behind every single thing I do. I always have a plan, and then also there's always a backup plan. So to cause the campaigns Unstoppable supporting the main campaign. Secretary General also came to accept Butwaingira campaign, not welcoming Abulunji Mukalulu, Barbara Nekesa na continuing to supporting era katono kiyali agira nange kubuno support nembuteka yo nengata abayimbi nemberanga mbawa facilitation from that time all the way. Abamu bereta by force, abamu bajina na kusaidia Eddie, abamu ne batandika okuforcing eno. Honorable Speaker na nkubira na mpayo artist omu mugatteko ne mugattako ne nkola budget zange empya era nearly nezijja close to what I had given in prior. Mzee nangamba it's okay tujja kula ngamba tujja kula beri ku end kastompa dechi facilitation. Let me first deliver, and we came bulungi nyo tukola campaigns zao to of course mwalimu obuntu obutono obutabulamu abayimbi banamawulire banote bankwata. That was Eddie complaining to me. It was very minor because omulimu gwali gutute banamawulire. It wasn't to cover us as musicians, but it was to cover the president and the message, and I didn't take those things serious. Of course batoba fewa abasinga bagenda kuiga wizi, and that's why I put a lot of emphasis on learning. Bana emuliza abantu abakulu babera nebintu bingi behind the little things they do. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't see the top and just think the inside is the top. No, bintu bine bisinga betukola tubera Adeka tuwache nsite chakula bintu direct. Tinzije nkuletere direct nti ebintu mbikweka. Mwawuliranga break the chains. Break the chains was meant to, I just wanted to have a topic that would make sure that by the time of the big budgets flowing in the campaigns, I'm on top of the industry. Simple as that. Because it gives you the power to run the finances. Mwino kuigo kulowoza. Timbira. Na spending $1 million, break the chains. Do you know how much I'm worth now if I was to be paid for the work I did? By the way, I want to congratulate Bulimuntu and contributing a cholera NRM. That's why Vanamauli never feed the nyo. NRM Secretariat Kati, I believe you all know the importance of media. You all know the importance. The number one platform right now is TikTok. You know the importance of TikTokers. Njagala kuwebaza mwenaba TikTokers mwenaba twali nabo. Kati ngenda kubadzaye mabega katono. Bwe mwali mundaba ku break the chains. It wasn't just about me. No. I was collecting media personalities. When abakwata nemba twala ntungamo ku coffee. I was paid $100,000. Nagano gendo kuyimba unless if I'm paid that money. Because na justifying a usage yazo nensa sula bana mauli, we stayed there for 7 days nga tupushinga coffee. It wasn't just a performance. Bobo saba sente ng'omuyimbi justify the money to the client. Era bwe nawuliranga abantu boogera ebintu ng'anda ebe naiganda baba nayiga batya baba nayiga ddi gwe tosobola kulaba nti omusajja omwatambudde ne bannamawulire 7 buli omu amusasula $15,000 daily n'amusuza n'amuliisa gwe gattagattamu awo plus mangu olabe nti in one day abaspendinze sente mmeka. Bwe nabajjaawo ne ndyoka mbatwale Kenya mute mwabalaba nti nasulanga nabo mu zi high end hotels abamu bayita Munyonyi abalala bayita ku ground. Bwe nava Kenya ne mbatwale Tanzania mute mwabalaba. I was building that for the NRM. I was showing the NRM the importance of a TikToker at that time. That if you want your project to sink in the people have one platform they listen to right now. It's called TikTok. Because twali twogedde nga tebawulira bigambo. Mu meetings tosobola kunnyonnyola Secretary General the importance of yani mtabani wangu le yavuma nga takyavuma Rama. Secretary General toyinza mubulira Rama n'amutegeera. Kyovula baajja tina myalo yakambwalira eno n'abakozi naye n'akiraba n'atambuza they listen to a different language. President wali toyinza munnyonnyola ebyo. Kyovula ba president agenza okutegeera TikTok bulungi after the unstoppable gundi eyo gye twakole Rajtula eyabavubuka podcast. That's not the era in which they come from. They come from the other era of paying for New Vision, paying for TVs. Kibadde tekinaba kubanyikiramu bulungi nti nno information kati ogitunda faster using TikTok. Era secretariat yali epanzeyo ba TikTokers bayo nga 8, 10, 12 nga naye ina abawandiisi ina abebikamera bino ebyazi TV bino ebinene ebyo byetikka bino nga byebiriwo. Who still watches those things? 30% of Ugandans. Otherwise the rest of Ugandans bonna kati bali ku TikTok. Quick information. Teba China time esoma bidi ebiwanvu nti no. That's why amawulire gagwa, and this is the truth. Newspapers zagwa because of social media. And I remember King Kalisa has been telling all the media houses to embrace these social media platforms, most especially TikTok, because it is the #1 platform. You can't deny it. So I had to find a way to convince my bosses that this is the real deal. TikTok is a real deal. Then I never forgot the original mabega zinagata byombi. So how many media personalities did I work with in this campaign? About 192. But on field naina 69. On field naina 69. Naina 49 abali aba silent majority, then naina 11 abali aba unstoppable, then naina abalala abange abachigatta, the likes of Banuruddin, Bat Badru, Bani, But Jenkins, but Jenkins was in Kampala. I can't mention the names of those ones who stayed in Kampala. I wish you knew. But when Mwalimula Baby to be bitambula systematically, because you can't take, when you first of all, when you explain your plans, bazi hukira ne bazi wamba ne befula baso zikola ne bazikoso kubayo sente ne bakola bifu byerere. That's why president abera tayagala kubiuliza ebintu ebyo bisinga. So plans zange nezisigaza abantu bange nayogeranga omu ku omu. So nentwala bannamawulire Kenya e Tanzania olumba ratinga closer bwemba nnyonnyola tugenda mu kalulu. They can all tell you these words. So that's why it was very easy for me to run the media. Nzijukira bwe twali mu unstoppable mwalingamu abantu abamu abagamba nti tulekera okuteekako logo ya silent majority tuteekeko obutesi nembaga no buli muntu yenna agenda okukola ku ground agenda kuteekako logo ya silent majority so that we are clearly identified, because our energy is not going to be mixed with other people who are lazy, because different people brought teams but the teams were not working. Waliwo abawala babiri abali ku rally benasinga okutya bayingiranga ne bateeka esimu bwe bati nenga actual reality bali tebalina kye ba recording nenga babira batadde esimu bwe bati lumala like 15 minutes ne badde erimu ne banyumyane oyo lunaku nga luwedde bali registered. Kakati silent majority media team, unstoppable media team nga byanjawulo. Now on top of that nga nina website people. I had about 39 websites. Nga nina Twitter. Nga nina nabayite ate bonna nga bayiwane ku Facebook. Then I had a team yasigala e Kampala, a breaking it down manifesto enkadde nedaba achievements nebyabulayo ne breaking it down manifesto empya. Then nebeera ku points za museveni omusanvu, the 7 points that the president was always emphasizing about, ngebiteeka mu group buli morning. So nga bwe tugenda ku lwale ba tiktokers kyovula babatuka time nga banyonyola programs nga bazimanyi ono bonna actually musajja wange we Dubai Lego nafuka muzibu nyongo yenzo kulowooza yabeera mu programs za PDM. All these things were not by mistake. Katinga, most of the people are discussing, Bebe Kulu alwana ne Eddie Kenzo. Really? Really? At this era? No. I have done a contribution. I've done a lot of things. Nzena Zimba, I can tell you the first day when Eddie Kenzo called me to help him create the federation. How was the federation created? He asked me, because the artists were not able to trust him. He called me and asked me, Bebe, sabo nyambe o meetinge King Saha ne Shiba. Abo webana akkiriza Manyika Million akuwuliriza ne Juliana. Nemugamba ogenda kukola kintu federation the General Sala agambye kole federation asobola okulaba ngeri government jet funding. And then no, that's okay. That's fine. But chiba cha industry okufunamu, I will meet kubanze tombulira saha. Sagala abantu bali disrespectful. obubongo butachuukako all the time kuvuma abantu kuvuma naye ne mugamba no it's okay. So naba meetingira ku Torino. Actually, even at that time nali sogera ne Shiba that we met at Torino and we agreed for I don't have to like you to work with you. Let's go work. Mvamulaba nti ku federation in the beginning buli muntu yaliyo. Era Joseph Chameleon will do anything okujjako nga Bebe has approved. Era yakugamba nti Bebe bw'aba mwali mmanyi nti yabirowoozaako biba kitegeeza birimu amagezi kanzije. So is Juliana. Ate mbakubira essimu personally ne mbagamba no trust me. Naye bwe wanaabaawo ekintu mmanyi omukyala nga Juliana tomala gamuteeka mukala bakyoyo. These are legends. These are very old people who have a break. These are great singers. Naye befiiriza ne baleka ebintu kuba tebaagala buvuyo. Kakati Bebe nkubidde ondeeta mu federation ne Moses Matovu. I called him personally. Nimbayita ne tutandika federation. Kozi omukyala oli gundi yani omukyala w'ekifuwa hotel eyo gye twalinga yali yansaba to also to support. Ate jjukira nali ggulu before ebyo ebintu byonna twali twabidiscussing adde ggulu. I was the one who was championing Gulu at that time when I spent there 4 months. So there was no reason for me to fight Eddie. Eddie is not in my caliber of thinking, no, of ideas, no, of NRM. Bakaliba ba NRM chiringanze kulowooza nti ndi mu level za Haji Moses Kigongo mu NRM. Mbolokuba Bebe Kulu nkoze nnyo mbwe enange ninga Moses Kigongo. Ani akulagira, ani akulimba. Give Haji Moses Kigongo his respect. Chuvula neba jeno bana abalwana entalo nzaba basirikale sibazanyisa. I don't disrespect them just because I'm Bebe Kulu, nze Bebe. Feba fighter ba museveni okuba yatuwanyi. No, waliwo ate balibe yakuba nabe mundu zennyini. Ate nabo batwala hayiri mu ngeri ndala. So bw'otajja nga weesulubabba mbolokuba bakuwanye leero ate obayiseemu amaaso abo. No. Oba ontegeera. So there was no abantu aba creating awards. Era mto wange namulaba nganga oluusi ayogera ngamba sija chidamba. I'll only address it one day when I finish. So that's why I called this a wrap up. Those are just misconceptions. Because of course I wasn't going to tell my media people to cover Eddie. They were not being paid to cover musicians. They were being paid to cover the president, to promote the campaign, to promote the manifesto. You can go and count how many times you saw me on their pages. Very rare. Nze ngamba bano bagoba bajja maaso gange. Ate bagala okuntuuza mu kamera nga nzize bwendi. Nze byonna bikowa. I'm a big star. I have seen it all. Ate kati nze combining ne reality. I combine the reality with showbiz, with imagination, with fiction. Byonna birabe temulina gasiyago musango ngamba. Tewali. Guys, I have attended the biggest concert. Go back and research. The 46664 concert at Hyde Park was viewed by over 1 billion people live. I was on that TV. I was on that stage for 14 minutes. But I was in London for 1 week with the likes of Will Smith, Bani. I was a young boy. If Tewali was social media, if there was social media, I would be the biggest artist in the world right now, from Africa. I have neyubudde in a lot. Media ya Uganda yonna yali concentrating nzeko mukunkuba. Nenkuba nemala neyubula nenjidda kungulu. Year to year. So I have experience. That's why I don't use those platforms to beat. If I'm to fight an artist, guys, Gwebuza Joseph, ya joku ya fenwana jetulwana. Enwana jetulwana ambinyo. Ngarwa chinwana. Really? An artist? Just chenkola nsirika busiris. Don't okusirika kwa nkuli very dangerous. Nadala nga nkumye response. Benkuma response, wambuzi. But if I come out to send in either kulwanyis, pane nange nsobola okukosa social capital yange. Social capital kitegeza buli kona yonna, buli platform, buli muntu, buli kintu, buli sente, buli magezi, buli kimuneno nekati ani ayinza okusurvivinga week emwe. Kakati kinetagisa. So the kale I understand the topics ziba nyumira, them creating abu no bulika no kali. I can ignore you ne kuitako ngomuntu. Kubanga mbanda babulabi omalira budde bichi nenga basikulwanyisa. Kubanga ebikonde ebyo tebyejamu. No way. Look at people, learn how to judge people. Learn how to judge people's reactions so that musoke mutegeere. So twatambuza bulungi akalulu ne tukatuusa. But I already knew that we were going to hit 70 plus. And I used to tell people, ngambaga bana tugenda kuba ensanvu naye nsaba Katonda tukube ensanvu plus. Kakati justification ya 71% banange bana Uganda, very simple. Justification eno nkulu nnyo because lwaki nze nali njagala tubenga tukuba 70 plus. Naija tubenga tukuba 70% we tunatuukira mu transition. Kine kiboziboza abantu ba creating ekyo museveni banavaawo munalaba ebyo bijja babifu. Kubanga package ya kubanga ina 80% support mu Uganda. Atenga genuine support. So gwe nebokera ku machane wekalakasa nti president afuddewo nti oba tugende ku nguudo Museveni afudde Museveni gwe batya. No. 80% of the people will say no, we want our peaceful country. We will go into a transition. We will get elections normally and we will elect a person another as Sinze and we will go on without disturbance. That is why it was very important for the NRM to reconvene. And that's why I credit Barbara Nekesa so much. So, President Museveni, mission eno ey'emyaka gino 5 eri ku bintu ebyo bibiri: economic transformation, inclusion of omuntu wa wansi mu money economy, abantu babeereko n'akasente nga bakola emirimu nga zireeta sente mu nsawo so that they can trust the vision. Tusobole okudda mu kalulu akaddaka ka 2031 tukomyewo president bali kululira kaliba, tumukomyewo omulundi omulala gumu ne bwaba mu kagaali ng'amaze okutereeza amafuta. PDM abantu bafuna milioni 2 oba 3 nga ne health system eteredde mu myaka gino 5. Amafuta gatandika mwaka guno, amafuta galina okuyamba abana Uganda obulamu bwabwe ne bukyuka, n'abantu ababadde n'obusungu bukendeere buve nawo, sinakindi buveewo. Kubanga omuntu ali bize ng'alina ebyokukola tasobola kuddawo ku Museveni ntebe simanyi muwozi ntebe simanyi biki. No, abantu bwavu bwe bubatawaanya. Era crediting nnyo president because yakiraba na focusinga ku bintu ebyali very important. Bana abantu mbajje ntya mu bwavu. Nina okufuula Uganda industrialized. Ebere mu production, bwebera mu production tutunde ebweru tufune sente, abantu bafune sente wano nga zive ebweru. Batunda wano ne batunda n'ebweru. Natandika okukola damu amasanyalaze. Key factor number 1, Uganda erilake tulina amazzi, tulina ettaka, yena creating amasanyalaze. Damu nazizimba. Kati ba investor we bajja bawe ettaka n'abawa ne gundi eyo tax holiday. Ne ba creating ki ne batekawo factories. Kati factories abaana batandise okufuna emirimu. Naye n'abana Uganda benyini batandise okuyiiya. Then naleta program ngazi PDM nasaya akakadde kamu nabanyonyola abantu abalunda embizi akato akabuzi oba akabizi ka mitwalo 7 kamu. Family yeta gugula embizi enkazi 2 ne embuzi enkazi 2 n'ensajja emu ne balunda ne bakola n'ebitooke wabbali 4 acre model directly ku Munnayuganda wansawo. Jukira kati njogera ku Munnayuganda oli oweri ng'ovudde wana wali amalala e Kampala. President Museveni jajja akalulu mu bantu abawuliriza program za gavumenti. So we twali tulina okumakinga sure nti we genuinely era ndi musanyufu nnyo tewali yawakanyeza percentage ya president. Kubanga president mwamulabanga musajja watu n'agenda mu nkuba mu bitooke n'agenda alambula enkoko alambula bufamu bw'abantu akebera mwafunye sente n'agobye bakyeyamaani ayisa abantu mubirabye for the last 4 years. What did you expect? Tubeerawo ne tubagamba nti Museveni tasobola kubba sente talina kyagenda zikozesa abaana be tebasa kubba sente tebalina kyebagenda zikozesa 40 years mu bukulembeze ngero okyadumira sente n'agendayo n'atandika obyekolera. Shame on all the people who are responsible for those programs. President yalibadde teyegenderayo okubonaabona, yalibadde nga mukoze tiimu y'abantu ne bannamawulire bagamba nti okuva ku speaker tumusabajje tugende ne deputy speaker tugende ne abanaddiini omukulembeze w'abasiraamu n'omukulembeze archbishopu tugende nga tulambule ku PDM. Era wano wenjagala okwebaliza naye nja mwebaza Katikkiro n'ogattako ne Katikkiro mu area ya Buganda oba Katikkiro mu different regions nga mugenda mulambula programs nga president we yakikola. That was what was supposed to have happened, not himself kata sente ate n'abawa mwene mu running programs ate ye najja as confirming omusajja yakola n'akola. Banaye waliwo natuuka nendabanga omusajja n'atera okutuka naye Katonda yakola Museveni kubanga era ne myezi 3 nga bwe mbagambye yataawummula ng'ate jjukira yava emabega ng'alambula zifaamu abuuka emyala akola ki. How can you not get the 71%? Ugandans are not stupid, they are very clever, and I want to thank the young people of Uganda. Njagala kwebaza abavubuka mwebale nnyo. You justified Uganda is a country that has responsible young people. I can now put my hand on that. Let me tell you why. Wabayo omuntu akyadawutinga William Museveni kankuzeeyo ku lunaku lw'okulonda olw'abavubuka lwe basimba mu mugongo. That was the year before. Mujjukira elections z'abavubuka nga basimba ku byalo ku mugongo. Elections oba naye zaali ez'omu mugongo. There was no single place in the country where you saw no line na mpanvu okusinga ya NRM. Mwakitekinga for granted mu opposition. Temwakitekinga for granted actually kyemwakola mwa avoiding okyogerako kuba muba kyogerako kyali badde kinyikira mu bantu ne kifuuka so obvious nti NRM egenda tukuba. But that was an indicator that was 90% showing you that even in the general elections the president is going to win by a very big margin. It was as simple as that. Jukira strength ya opposition yali erowooza mu misguidinga mind y'abavubuka. Naye abavubuka be babanga basimba emabega w'abavubuka mu yellow. That was enough to show you that come the general election, President Museveni is going to win by over 60%. So the 10 to 15% that we wanted was to amalgamate the teams. Amalgamating kugatta basigadde bonna bano bannamawulire bano bayimbi bahani bano ba disgruntled, because NRM had a lot of disgruntled people who felt cheated, who felt not cared for. Bantu bangi nnyo abaali banyiiga. Enze nkoze kino teryanfuddeko balaba mmwe balaba biki bantu bangi abanyiiga ku mitima. That's why I thank Barbara Nekesa. Noza waliwo n'omukyalo wa Busuuti ababeeranga ku secretariat awo nga babeera basaba busabi ssente. Naye olaba yatambula n'amalako campaign nga bamufacilitating SG abalala Barbara Nekesa n'abafacilitating. So secretariat nayo nina okugyebaza, waliwo ekintu kye yakola ekyo kyabadde very crucial. okufuba okulaba nti nno abantu bonna babeera part, but the muntu asinze okukikola e Barbara Nekesa. This is a golden woman. I'm lucky that she was always my fan before. Actually omukyalo oyo Daddy Andre yawasiza sister we gye twabadde ku mbaga kukwanjula